Let me talk to you. We're back once again. It's a new review out for you guys today. And today I'm going to be sitting here reviewing the new movie Air. Now, Air is the story about Nike, about how they were first entering the basketball division of trying to sign college athletes going into the draft to sign lucrative deals to have shoe deals with Nike. But at the time, Nike was not looked at as a popular, and they had the lowest market share out of companies like Converse and Adidas. And so we have a character, Mr. Sonny Vaccaro, played by Matt Damon, in his efforts to try to lure Michael Jordan to kickstart off their signing athletes onto their Nike basketball division. Now, when I first heard the story about this movie, I was instantly hooked just because I'm a sneakerhead, low key. I very much am. I have a whole bunch of sneakers lined up all throughout my closet, collect J's, all that good stuff. And then you have Matt Damon and Ben Affleck teaming up to get this movie made. And then you got Ben Affleck directing this movie, who is an Academy Award winning director who has a Best Picture win with one of the films he's directed. That instantly got me excited. The cast was stellar. When you have Viola Davis playing Michael Jordan's mom, you got Jason Bateman in there. Chris Tucker randomly pops up in here. Ben Affleck is Phil Knight. The cast for this alone really is what made this movie stand out. In the story of Nike, about Nike they weren't necessarily looked at as a cool shoe. You know, in the NBA, you had guys out there hooping in Chucks, which, when you look at it in today's standards, having whole ass NBA basketball games in Chucks, that sounds like it's painful as hell in that narrow ass shoe. And so, but that's how it was. Converse and Adidas were the top dogs when it came to shoe deals with NBA players. And so with Nike and them trying to lure Michael Jordan over to Nike and starting off this big deal with him, it just made it all the more perfect. And spoiler, if you don't know if they got the deal done, there's your answer. There's your answer. Because it was revealed in The Last Dance about how, and this is all well known. This is not spoiler. This is literally well known stuff that was said in The Last Dances, in articles everywhere. Michael Jordan was leaning towards Adidas because he loved Adidas. Adidas was always his top choice, and it was his mom that got him into giving Nike a chance and having that meeting with Nike. And then we all know the story from there, and how Michael Jordan has this billion-dollar company connected with Nike and Jordan. And so overall, what are my thoughts on the movie? This is the best movie of the year. This is easily the best movie of the year. Ben Affleck absolutely knocks it out of the park with the directing of this movie. The writing is so witty, and it's very funny too. And even though we know what the outcome is at the end of the day when it comes to this movie, it's the journey along the way that keeps you invested. Because when you have historical type movies like this and you know the outcome of what's going, you have to keep us engaged as an audience on the journey, how you guys were able to lure Michael Jordan. What was the process? I know there was some pushback on it because Sonny Vaccaro, he went over to visit Michael Jordan's parents at their house in North Carolina, and a lot of people were trying to tell Sonny, hey, if you do this, you may get fired. But Sonny, he saw something in Michael Jordan, because nobody knew Michael Jordan at the time would become arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. For you Jordan heads, I think LeBron's the greatest of all time, but you can kiss my ass if you disagree. But anyways, so nobody knew at the time that Michael Jordan was going to become Michael Jordan. But Sonny saw something in him just based off his college tapes and how his ball game was, to like, hey, we need to go after this guy and center everything within our basketball division, put all our resources to Michael Jordan, into grabbing Michael Jordan and bringing them in with us. And I really dug the story along the way. I love the whole process. I love how they did the historical backgrounds of what Nike's market share was at the time compared to Converse. Converse was like 50 something. And then when you get to Nike, it was only about 17% market share. So nobody was going to deal with Nike. Nike's basketball division with the shoes it was gonna absolutely collapse if they did not get this Michael Jordan deal done. And the journey, just seeing them making the shoe, doing the meeting, talking amongst each other, building this up, because it felt a little tense. It felt a little like, even now they even knew the story. It's like I'm engaged in the movie as it stands. Like, are they gonna get the deal done? And I'm like pushing, like, do the deal, follow through with the request that they want in order to get this deal done. And they do it. And we see everything, all the behind the scenes work, all in between. And I love that 100% about this movie. As I mentioned earlier, you had Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker was probably my favorite part of this movie, and what he brought to this film. I thought he was absolutely great in this movie. Viola Davis was phenomenal as Michael Jordan's mom. You know, Ben Affleck was great as Phil Knight. Matt Damon was great as Sonny Vaccaro. We had Marlon Wayans. He had a small part in there, in which I've said for years, Marlon Wayans is a great actor. You know, he does his goofy comedy humor stuff, but when he actually gets down to wanting to act and portray a character on screen, he is a great actor at the end of the day, and I want to see him in more roles like this. Even though it was small, he was great for what he brought onto this movie. The guy who played, I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who played Michael Jordan's agent, I thought he was very funny throughout this movie, and just his lines of dialogue and how he delivered them all throughout, you know, that shady business agent, you know. I dug all the characters. It's really the characters that really make this movie stand out as a whole. It's great character work all throughout this movie. Everybody delivered their absolute A game. And in a very interesting note, that, you know, you have a stand-in actor who plays Michael Jordan, a pretty tall guy, obviously, but you don't see Michael's face because this is not a Michael Jordan movie at all. And I thought that was a brilliant choice to make, to not show Michael Jordan, only hear little tidbits of his voice throughout and never show his face, because it's not about Michael Jordan. This is really a Nike movie and them luring in Michael Jordan to sign with Nike. And I really dug that creative choice that they did with this movie. I cannot stop singing this movie's praises enough. This is easily the best movie of the year so far. I know we're only in April, but I was just hooked from start to finish watching this movie in the theater. Everybody, all the actors was great. The screenplay was phenomenal. All the historical knowledge and facts that they threw in throughout the movie was great. I honestly have zero complaints. There are no negatives from me with this movie at all. And that is why I'm going to give this movie Air a bang 5 out of 5 on the fish scale. This is the best movie of the year so far. This has been such a great year for movies as a whole, and I cannot wait just to see what more we get. And I love seeing Ben Affleck back in the director's chair once again for this movie. But overall, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video here today and listening to me talk about the latest movie, Air. Go ahead and like the video if you enjoyed watching me talk. Go and subscribe to the channel as well, and hit that bell to be notified whenever I do have any other future uploads coming onto the channel for you guys. But that's all for me today, you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your days. Have a happy Easter, and yeah, see you on the flip side. Talk to you later.